The following content has been generated with artificial intelligence under minimal human supervision. The data presented may contain errors or inaccuracies. The opinions expressed in this content do not necessarily reflect the vision, position, or values of Digi-all. We recommend verifying critical information with additional sources before making decisions based on this content.
Welcome to Digi-all Tech News. Today is December 10th, 2025. I'm Kylie Brooks, and this is where technology becomes clear and engaging. We've got some seriously interesting stories today, from critical security updates to AI vulnerabilities, a David versus Goliath story in the chip world, and some big moves in global tech investment. Let's dive in. Apple is pushing out iOS 26.2 any moment now, and this isn't just another routine update. We're talking critical security patches that over 1 billion iPhone users need to install immediately. Google Gemini just got caught with a seriously scary vulnerability. It's called GeminiJack, and here's the wild part. Attackers could steal your corporate data without you clicking a single thing. There's a startup taking direct aim at NVIDIA's iron grip on AI chips. The company is called Modular, and they're led by some serious heavy hitters from Apple and Google. This could get interesting. Amazon just announced a massive $35 billion investment in India by 2030. They're focusing on AI innovation, export growth, and creating millions of jobs. And Bitcoin investors are on edge. The Federal Reserve is making an interest rate decision today, and it could push Bitcoin either toward $100,000 or down below $85,000. Let's start with that iOS update. Apple's already sent out a second release candidate to beta testers, which means this thing is basically ready to ship. And you really don't want to sleep on this one. Here's why. Both Apple and Google recently warned users in 84 countries about mercenary spyware attacks. We're not talking about your typical cybercrime here. These are sophisticated, well-funded operations targeting specific individuals with resources most hackers can only dream about. Every vulnerability that gets exploited makes everyone's device less secure, even if you're not the direct target. So when iOS 26.2 drops, head straight to Settings, then General, then Software Update. Don't wait. And honestly, if you're still on iOS 18, it might be time to consider upgrading to iOS 26. Sure, iOS 18 still gets security patches, but iOS 26 has all these advanced anti-scam and anti-fraud features that iOS 18 just doesn't have. Now, about that Gemini vulnerability. This one's honestly pretty scary. Researchers at Noma Labs discovered what they're calling GeminiJack, and it exploits how Google's AI searches through your corporate data. Here's how it works. The attacker poisons some shared content, maybe a Google Doc, a calendar invite, or even an email. They hide prompt injections in there that trick the AI into searching for terms like confidential or API key across everything you have access to. And we're talking years of emails, your entire calendar with all those private meeting notes about deals, complete document repositories with contracts and sensitive information. The AI then packages all that data and sends it out via what looks like an innocent image tag in the response. From your perspective, you just ask the AI to show you Q4 budgets and everything looks normal. No clicks, no warnings, no malware. The AI is literally just doing what it was designed to do, which is why this bypasses traditional security tools. The good news is Google acted fast. They worked with the researchers, separated Vertex AI search from Gemini, and patched how the system handles instructions. But this is a wake-up call about AI native risks in workplace environments. Organizations need to start monitoring these AI pipelines and rethinking how much data they're feeding into these systems. All right, let's talk about Modular taking on NVIDIA. This is one of those stories that just makes you sit up and pay attention. The company was founded in 2022 by Chris Lattner and Tim Davis. If those names sound familiar, that's because these guys are legit. Lattner created Apple's Swift programming language and worked on Google's TPU software. They're going after NVIDIA's CUDA ecosystem, which has been the industry standard for AI workloads for nearly 2 decades. And here's the thing about CUDA. It's not just good, it's comprehensive. We're talking languages, libraries, compilers, debugging tools, the whole 9 yards. but it locks you into NVIDIA hardware. So if you want to use AMD GPUs or Google's TPUs or Amazon's Trainium chips, you're kind of out of luck. Lattner points out this irony. Nobody's building portable software because why would you develop for multiple chips when each chip company is focused on their own software? Modular has raised $380 million and hit a valuation of $1.6 billion. They've built a new AI software platform with three main components. There's Mojo, which is a programming language that's compatible with Python, but performs like C++. Then there's Max, which handles AI inference on NVIDIA, AMD, and Apple chips. And Mammoth, which orchestrates GPU clusters. In September, they topped benchmarks on both NVIDIA's Blackwell B200 and AMD's MI355X, using the same software stack. AMD actually outperformed its own native software by 50%. One of their early customers, InWorld AI, reported 60% cost savings and 40% faster performance. Lattner describes Modular as Android for AI hardware. They're not trying to kill NVIDIA, they just want more competition in the space. And honestly, that's probably good for everyone. Moving to Amazon's big India announcement. This is building on nearly $40 billion they've already invested in the country. The new commitment is over $35 billion more by 2030, and it's focused on three areas: AI-driven digitization, export growth, and job creation. An economic impact report shows Amazon has digitized over 12 million small businesses in India, facilitated $20 billion in cumulative e-commerce exports, and supported about 2.8 million jobs in 2024. These aren't just warehouse jobs either. We're talking technology roles, operations, logistics, customer support, all with competitive pay and training programs. Looking ahead, Amazon's targeting 3.8 million jobs by 2030. They want to quadruple exports to $80 billion and democratize AI access across the country. That includes AI tools for 15 million small businesses, enhanced shopping features with AI lens technology, and multilingual support for hundreds of millions of users, and AI education for 4 million government school students in partnership with nonprofits. Amit Agarwal, Amazon's Senior VP of Emerging Markets, emphasized how this aligns with India's vision of self-reliance and development. It's a massive bet on India as a tech and commerce hub. And finally, let's talk Bitcoin and the Fed. Bitcoin's having a rough time lately. It's erased all its 2025 gains and dropped nearly 30% from its all-time high, back on October 6th. There was this flash crash that liquidated over $19 billion, and market sentiment has definitely shifted to fear. Today, the Federal Reserve is making their interest rate decision. Rate cuts are generally good for crypto because they lower yields on safer investments, which pushes people toward riskier assets like Bitcoin, and they increase liquidity in the market. That's basically what fueled Bitcoin's growth in 2020 and 2021. But here's the catch. The market is expecting a 25 basis point cut with about 90% probability, according to CME Group's FedWatch tool. And when something's that expected, it's often already priced in. We saw this in October when a rate cut didn't stop Bitcoin's decline. If the Fed cuts rates and pairs it with optimistic commentary, we could see Bitcoin recover and potentially push toward $100,000. But if they strike a hawkish tone or decide to hold rates because of inflation concerns, Bitcoin could drop below $85,000, which would trigger more liquidations and potentially prolong lows. The tone of the Fed's statement matters just as much as the decision itself. Signals about 2026 rates will be important too. The Fed did halt quantitative tightening as of December 1st, which could help liquidity and support Bitcoin. Any hints about quantitative easing might encourage more risk-taking for a year-end rally. Long-term though, Bitcoin's prospects still look solid. We've seen major progress in 2025 with stablecoin legislation, institutional adoption, government treasuries adding it, retirement plans including it. Spot Bitcoin ETFs hold over $120 billion, which shows real demand. Bitcoin's finite supply positions it as potential digital gold, even if volatility challenges that safe haven narrative. Regulatory progress in 2026 could really solidify its role in the financial system. So there you have it. From critical security updates you need to install right now, to AI vulnerabilities that should make enterprises rethink their data strategies, to a legitimate challenger emerging in the AI chip space, massive investment in India's tech future, and crypto markets hanging on the Fed's every word. It's a lot happening all at once, but that's tech in 2025. We'll keep tracking these stories as they develop and bring you the updates that matter. Thank you for staying informed with Digi-all Tech news. We'll be back with more updates as they develop.